to SerialPodcastNine.
Hi, I'm Kevin from SerialNine.
And I'm Gerard from SerialNine.
And I'm Ryan from Dota Logic, and this is SerialPodcastNine, episode 14.
No, it's like 15.
Episode 15.
All right, so today we have Aleks from RarespecWheels. Today we're going to talk about wheels and things to do with wheels and what wheels are cool, what wheels are not cool.
Let's talk about rims.
I want to talk about rims.
Aleks, you want to introduce yourself, or do you just want us to talk about you?
Well, you seem to talk about me every episode, so I feel like I'm okay.
Oh,
Secret
love affair. Yeah, we actually brought you on to talk about our sponsorship deal. You owe us some money.
Oh, okay.
Or just more wheels. So, fun fact, Aleks has built wheels for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've also helped source my CR Kais, and you drive, or you don't drive. You have the same issue that I have. It sits in a garage. You have one of Gerard's old cars, correct?
Correct. It's the old 86 Cressida wagon. So I've had that car since, I guess, 2011. So
Yeah, it's been ages.
It's been so many ages. And it's gone through many sets of wheels. And currently, I've been building a set of 15s for it for the last probably year and a half. And it's definitely taking a long time to do.
I catch a lot of flack for never driving my car, but I've known Aleks for about 7 years, and I've never seen him drive that car. Actually, no, once I saw you drive it around a farm for photos, and that was the only time I've ever seen it move. Anyway, so next time you want to shit on me for not driving my car, shit on Aleks too. Perfect.
Yeah, but I can't drive it. It's on jack stands. At least yours is on wheels and it stands and it's cool. So you could.
And it starts.
Yeah, it starts.
Yeah, I mean, but you could have fixed your thing in the last 7 years.
Yeah, but instead I'm like everyone else. I just buy another car and then work on it and then move on and buy another car and then I just forget what's in the garage.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. So Aleks, we have you on because you're the wheel expert, and then Gerard, and then Kevin, and then me. So that's the pecking order of this episode.
It's a stretch, but okay.
Is that a wheel joke with tires? Stretch.
Yeah. Oh.
That's a good one. I like that.
Putting it up.
So, fun fact, we're all cat weirdos. That's pretty
I'm
funny.
a
It's
cat
true.
dad.
So we can have a podcast about cats. But we're not going to. We're going to talk about wheels.
Are there any wheels named after cats?
That's a good question. Not that I can think of.
Like there's like the Cerberus, but that's not that's not quite a cat. But
That's not a cat.
no.
That's a mythical creature, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So I guess what have you been up to business-wise for the last little bit?
The pandemic didn't really affect me at the beginning, but now I'm kind of seeing the effects now. So I guess there's a huge aluminum shortage. If there's aluminum shortage, there's shortage on parts because of shipping and things like that. There's huge delays. So it's definitely slowed down in the last little bit. We're hoping things kind of turn around in the next few months, but it's definitely been different than it's been in the past years for sure.
Yeah, my lips have been on order for 6 months or something.
Yeah, exactly. So specific sizes, specific parts for different wheels, because not everything is standard or generic. Like you can't just put SSR stuff with work stuff or veil side with weds. Everything is meant to go for a specific wheel, and so certain sizes or parts just are not available, or at least not available to me in short amount of time. So
Shit. That's not great.
And then because of the pandemic, certain shipping companies canceled certain shipping options. Like FedEx had priority, which is the fastest, most expensive way. And then they also had regular shipping, which took a little longer, but it was much cheaper. And they just canceled that. So everything now that's being shipped from Japan, I'm paying nearly double if I want it priority shipped.
Yeah. Or if you want to get it, but then you might not get it.
But then that's affecting everyone across the board, because I feel like I'm looking at things on the internet and I'm seeing other people shit on US companies that do the same thing that you do. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Do you think that is the cause of their woes, or is that something else?
Well, most of the parts that I buy, actually all the parts that I buy, are made in the States. So if they're saying they're having shipping issues, from outside of the States, then that means those certain companies are buying parts from China or Taiwan. And
Oh,
I'm not
good.
going to go into that, but there are certain
You
companies
could.
that are selling parts that
Maybe
are
maybe
made.
they're waiting on billets. Chinese made billets of aluminum that they will
Maybe.
machine in the States.
That could be it too, right? So, but yeah, so I think the fact that there's just a shortage on aluminum is what causing those delays. I wouldn't say shipping would be the issue.
Right. You don't want to say the other companies in the U.S. that may be
So they make 3-piece wheels,
Ryan, you're so happy.
They certainly make 3-piece wheels, yeah.
and they're in the U.S.
They're located in the U.S., yeah.
I think the interesting thing about talking to you about wheels is I feel like Gerard and Kevin and myself have one scope of what wheels could and should be. And then you deal with a lot of customers. So what trends are you seeing like from people ordering wheels right now?
Blitz 03.
Yeah. How's your
you
Blitz
can't order
03
that.
stock looking?
The Blitz 03 stock is super low. But as far as trends are, I think we're stepping away from the trend where the wider, the better. I think this was
Thank fucking
pre-pandemic,
God.
where people were just like, no, I want like a 18 by 14, 18 by 16 inch wheel because I'm going to make the car fit the wheel. So I think we're stepping away from that trend where people now are kind of ordering stuff to fit their cars as they are. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's like the package is more than just like how deep your lips are. Bro, I got 8-inch lip, and it's like so fucking what?
As far as like finish, the trend is, I think, going for kind of lighter colors. People are not into black, but then the other thing is a lot of people want chrome as well. And
Yeah, buddy.
the crazy thing with chrome locally, like nobody really chromes here in BC
I was just gonna say you can't get it.
because of like environmental stuff. And then the place that I actually use locally here that would strip chrome, they shut down during the pandemic because I'm assuming nobody went to them. So they closed down their business, and I had a set of lips I had to dechrome, and it cost me $1,000 to do it. That's just insane. Like, so yeah. So chroming is kind of out of the question here, but a lot of people want shiny wheels.
And chrome is the only way to get to that point? Are there other options that you'd recommend?
There's chrome powder, or at least powder coating that looks kind of like chrome.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, don't kid yourself.
It's supposed to look like it, but
you go.
I agree with you. It does not. It's not chrome. It's definitely not chrome. It's just a shiny.
It's a shiny imposter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to screw up our Rare Spec sponsorship at the end of this episode.
I'm going to lose a bunch of customers for sure.
I don't think that's...
Can't do chrome? No, not for me.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
Yo, can I get gold? What about gold plating?
That's out too.
Really? We live in Surrey, bro. Come on.
No.
Have you, back to Gerard's point, do you get a lot of people reaching out about Blitz 03s right now, or has that tapered off?
It's always been Blitz 03s, Equipa 5s, VSKFs. Those are like the main 3 wheels that everyone's like, I want. So do you have those?
How did the Blitz 03 become anywhere near those 2 other wheels? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's like not even in the same realm. You know what I mean? Like, how is a Blitz 03 anything?
Do you hate that wheel?
I'm not a fan. No, I mean, it is what it is, but it's not like, I don't think it's like an amazing wheel. I just don't understand why it's so popular.
I think the answer that we've come to was the Blitz 03, like Ganondorf mirrors, was cool at a certain price point, but then when you ran up the price to like triple what it was, it's probably not as cool anymore. Because it's like, to Gerard, you've made this point earlier, was you could spend less money and get a wheel that was way cooler than that wheel. So it was
Yeah,
like, or
I mean,
a
I
better
guess
wheel.
I just don't see the hype. You know what I mean? Like, an Equip, I guess. I mean, Work to me is like it's like a historic wheel company. It's like a good ass wheel company. Bliss doesn't even fucking make the wheels. You know what I mean? How did that wheel even come about? And like, what rose its popularity? Like, what's like, is it like current or is it before? Because the Equip has been popular literally since the beginning of fucking time. Same with the VSKF. The VSKF, when it was introduced, was already fucking dope. You know what I mean? It was already popular. I don't think the Blitz 03 was dope until recently.
Yeah, it's definitely within the last like 3 years.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is popularized by North American pop culture or car culture dudes, influencers, if you will. I guess that might be it. But hey, man, that's cool. You can have them all.
It's definitely 240 guys. I feel like that's who kind of made the wheel what it is, because it comes in 17s and 18s,
Mhm.
right? Originally.
And they want to do
Those
the
are like
17-18 stagger.
They do the 17-18 stagger. The sizes are ideal for like, stock body 240s. And I honestly know a few people personally that have 240s and they happen to have Blitz 03s on them.
Mhm.
And it's just, it looks good on that car.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made them so popular, right?
You build those wheels? Is that why you're saying that?
I
Trying to build bridges here?
I might have done a few, yeah.
find it's like the Blitz 03 is like radio songs. It's like, they play them and shit and everyone, they get popular, but it's one song from one artist and it gets played and it gets played and it's played and it's in your head. You hear it every day. I mean, and then it's kind of like that. It's like that same artist has multiple different songs that are probably good or better or the same as the songs you hear. Just like, I mean, the Techno Speed Z1 rad wheel, like all those other wheels that are equivalent or better or same as a Blitz 03, but somehow all of a sudden it's like Blitz 03 or bust. You know what I mean?
Well, the LMGT 1s through 4
Yeah, man.
also went crazy. The market for them went from, I used to be able to, when I saw them in Japan, they were like $600 a set. Now they're selling for $6,000 a set if they were like the original DR sizing. It's crazy.
Yeah, Koenig Monsters, OZ Futuras, those type of wheels too became really popular.
But see, OZ Futuras were always expensive, at least what I saw, because they were always, if they were,
they're always a crazy size.
Yeah, they're a crazy size, and they were always expensive. So
they're like they weren't. Yeah, I mean they're OZs, so they're not even from fucking Japan, or they're from OZ Japan, which is like not actually like that's like a crazy thing, OZ Japan, right? That's
and
like
aren't
BBS Japan.
like the LMGT wheels like forged? Like, aren't they like kind of a sick wheels? Aren't they like super light? And like, I don't know, they look cool, but like.
Well, yeah, I think you're thinking that the one piece ones.
Yeah,
are you thinking of the 4s? LMGT4?
Yeah, LMGT 4s are basically like a raise, like a 5-spoke T37.
Yeah.
Those are
Kevin, are you thinking of the 4s? You're thinking.
I'm thinking of the 4s.
You're thinking of the 4s.
Well,
I can
those
just see in Kevin's eyes. He's like, "Sure, man."
Well, those became popular because of the R34 GTR, because that's what the wheels were essentially made for.
Those got popular because of Kaguchi.
Oh yeah,
in my world,
because I wasn't thinking of them on the R34. I swear, yeah. But
you were thinking of Kaguchi's car.
Yeah,
white, green car.
The green
bro.
with the white stripe and the like.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we? Can somebody pull that up, Jamie? Jamie, can you pull that up? I want to see what that looks like.
No, Kaguchi's car.
Oh man.
What's your what's been your favorite build of all the wheels you built? What was your like favorite one, or like at the end you were just like, man, those were like
Veilside
so cool.
Andrew Racing 9.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend anybody.
No, but you got to pick one. There's like you're offending everybody except one person. So
Yeah,
whatever.
and also it's the wheels that he built for my 4Runner.
Yeah, those phone dialers.
Yeah. Let me just dial them up on there. Old time. Hello, Aleks. Are these your favorite wheels? Yes, they are.
I always enjoy Kevin's wheels, actually, the cell box.
Oh shit! Well, that's a chalk one up for Kevin. I'll go fuck myself.
So.
I'm a big 3-spoke fan, and I think that's just I'm kind of biased that way.
Yeah, Kevin, what made you decide to go 3-spoke?
I don't know. I just always liked 3 spokes. I had Goodyear wheels that were like 14x6 on my Corolla that were 3 spokes. And yeah, I don't know. I always thought like the Advan A3As were cool, and the the racing Zeldas and all that. Yeah, I don't know. I just think 3-spoke wheels are kind of hilarious and cool.
It's all about weight reduction, you know?
Yeah, wait.
Keep that out of there. Hey, Alex, what's your least favorite pair of wheels you've ever built?
Blitz 03.
Oh my god. There's many, but I think anything that is bigger than 20 inches and weighs 50 pounds per wheel, I hate doing those.
But you love to hit the gym, so you're okay on that front. I mean, it's not heavy for you. So what's the issue?
It's just they're way more time consuming, I feel like.
What's the widest wheel you've ever built?
I think it would have been like a 19 by 14. It was one of those where they kept the original inner, which was very wide to begin with, and then you want to add a big lip, and then that's how you get 18 or 19 by 14.
So what the hell did they put on there? 305, 30, 18?
I don't know. I think it was like even bigger than that, probably 315 or something.
What did it go on?
I don't remember. Not gonna comment on that.
Was it the president? I can cut it out. It's fine. Was it the president?
Yeah.
I'm just double checking the facts for the president, but I'm pretty sure that was the president.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. He went smaller inners. So it wasn't the president. It was something else. I'm trying to think of.
Was it the Y33? It definitely was no fucking Toyota. That's for sure.
No, it would have been like a Nissan.
Yeah.
All right, Alex. So I come to you and I'm like, hey, man, I want Blitz 03s. And you know that I can't afford them. What are you going to suggest instead?
I say you sell some cryptocurrency.
Okay. I don't have any of that.
I think a cool wheel that resembles a Blitz 03 that's a fairly rare wheel and also cool is a Pia Raza. Those are pretty cool. A buddy of ours had those back in the day on his 240, and they were always super sick. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Alex. That Pia Raza is a 5-spoke split, open lug, very similar, but like kind of a little bit of a different profile.
It's a little fatter in the face.
Yeah. But also,
just like me.
It's a bit more like VIP looking, like a tiny bit more VIP looking, but
yeah,
like
it's more full face.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just an overweight Blitz 03, basically.
Or a stylish Blitz 03.
It kind of looks like a star. Horizon is more like a Mario star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario star. Yeah.
So, anyways, back to Benoit's question. Can you ask me that question again?
Yes, I can. So I come to you as a friend, and I say, Alex, I need to get on that Blitz 03 train. And you're like, Benoit, I know you're broke as fuck, so you can't have those. Why don't we? And then we fill in the blank. What wheel are you suggesting to me instead?
What car is it going on?
Well, not the Forerunner. So the Aristo, I guess.
Well, it depends, Ryan.
Look, you got to pick a name. Either I'm going to be Benoit or Ryan. It's confusing. It's going to go on the Aristo. I don't have any other cars. I don't have a secret car in the build.
What size are we going? 18s or 19s?
For ease of this conversation, let's say 18s. I'm just getting rid of all of my Aero, and I'm going to go to 18s.
You don't need to get rid of your Aero to go 18s.
We tried putting Alex's SSR, his 18s on once, and it just like we couldn't put. They look too small.
Nah, y'all tripping. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's let the guy that's literal name on Instagram, RarespecWheels, answer the question.
Because you like the Blitz 03s, that tells me you have bad taste. So I think we're give you a set of Minervas.
Hey, Minervas are cool though. You're putting Minervas with Blitz 03s.
Give them some Schwartz or something.
The Schwartz are impossible to find, and they're 2-piece welded.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Those are disgusting wheels.
I actually like Minervas though. I am with Gerard on that. Minervas, and it's funny because dudes get Minervas and they always get rid of them. They like come on every Japanese car and they're like, nope, not for me, not for me. And I'm like,
they all go to Chicago.
So why are you offended then that I suggested Minervas?
I'm not offended that you suggested Minervas. I thought it was funny that you made fun of Blitz 03s is what I was actually.
And then picked Minervas.
Yeah. No, I think that's that's a good call. I would run those. Thank you for your hypothetical suggestion.
I would say do it now because the price of Minervas is going up and it's trending the same way the Blitz 03s were.
Well, that's
I feel like wheels generally are just.
I don't hate the Minerva personally. Honestly, yeah, I feel like agree. Like wheels are just straight fucked.
Yeah.
Like you got to pick like a really obscure wheel, like a Selbach, or even my Andrews, my Vilside Andrews are, I feel like still relatively kind of not popular. But also like, yeah, like they're super fucking ugly unless you kind of do the center cap thing. But yeah, like you got to pick like a fairly obscure wheel, like maybe even that Pia Raza, like it's not popular, but like it could definitely like look pretty cool. Maybe not like on a 240 that's like a sporting build. Like it's definitely not as sporty as a Blitz 03, but like, I mean, that Pia Raza on your wristo would look fucking tight, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not getting rid of the CR guys. It was a hypothetical. Jokes on everyone.
I got a question. Have small wheels gone up the same amount that big wheels have? Because back when I was into small wheels, they were way more expensive than the big wheels. Like 14-inch, 15-inch wheels were 3 times as much as 18-inch wheels. But now it seems like those 18-inch wheels have caught up. But I'm kind of out of the loop, so I don't know if those 14, 15s have also just skyrocketed.
Yeah, I remember buying wheels back then. Like when I brought in a set for you, that was like
Or
two
fours?
long champs was $1,500 or
Yeah, it was
something.
like $1,400 for
Back
two.
in 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
What
remember I
size
was
were there?
15 by 10.5 or something. 10.
Yeah,
Oh,
15
fuck.
by 10, -38.
Oh,
Yeah.
they would sell like original factory specs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they would be more than $1,500
Like-
now.
Center caps, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sold them to Dustin like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah, we still have them.
Yeah.
Well, how much would they go for, Alex? I like that this has become the antique roadshow for wheels.
Oh, that's a good question. You can just like price out the entire fridge box.
If they're original factory sizing, I don't even know what they would go for. They would go for whatever the person would pay for them, and I think it would probably be over $2,000 for that pair.
Oh, fuck you. That's such a Kevin
not even that
answer to that answer.
That's not even that expensive.
No, that's what I mean. Like they haven't gone up that much compared
No.
to how much like an 8, like a Blitz 03, you could buy the whole set for 500 back then.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember bringing in 18-inch wheels that were like whatever, like equips for fucking $400 or $500 back then. I mean, you bring in
Sparkos were brand new in box and they were like
$1,300.
1,100. Yeah, like
$1,300 ship for all 4 of my Sparko NSO6s, which I mean, they were a bit of a rare find, but still, like, you'd bring pairs of 18s in for $300, $500. It was nothing, man. But yeah, I mean, then there was 3-piece US and VR wheels, and these people that literally just buy every single fucking wheel off YJ and into containers, and then just like flood the US or North American market with every Japanese wheel. So like you can't, as an individual, it became very difficult to like buy anything. You know what I mean? And not be priced out.
Yeah.
No, but I think the small wheels are definitely going up in price, especially of stuff was made, in the 70s, 80s. That is not being made now. Pricing going up, plus refinishing services on small wheels is more expensive. Everything's not standard. There's only a few companies that actually spin the parts for them, and so they kind of dictate the cost of the parts. Plus, a lot of the small wheels, because they run fewer bolts, right? They require welding. So now you're, like if I was to do a set of 18s, equips or whatever, I can just seal them, right? But if I'm doing a small, 14-inch equips, they would require welding if I'm putting a new lip on. And then if the customer wants a new inner barrel, now I'm required to do 2 beads of weld. So it just adds on to the cost.
Does the face weld to the first face and then the second face weld to the first face?
Yeah, like SSR Mark IIs and Mark IIIs. Yeah, that's how they're designed. It's sandwiched between the 2 barrels, and then
so each lip is welded to the face.
Yeah.
What about the Mark 1?
No wonder they have 6 bolts.
The Mark 1 is like a 4-part wheel.
It's the weirdest wheel, dude.
The lip is the face as part of one, and then there's like a hub centric ring on the inside.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre design, for sure.
And then the bolts are just cosmetic?
Well, no, they kind of hold the inner barrel and the outer barrel together.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't say they're cosmetic, but I think
Well, not like you would find on a fuel wheel. with the cosmetic. You ever had
Yeah, I
to
got those
rebuild that?
19 millimeter bolts.
Those
holding
petrol
my
wheels.
Yeah.
touch.
Hey, yeah, you've been listening.
I've been listening to your podcast, guys.
One thing I was gonna say, like Volk CV Pros, I always thought those wheels were pretty sick. And then, yeah, I mean, they never really caught on. And now that Volk's remaking the, I think it's called the 27C or whatever.
Mhm.
And everyone's like, yo, the wheel's so sick. And it's like, it's literally the exact same fucking wheel as a CV Pro, obviously in one piece and forged, but like the
Right.
spoke shape and style is exactly the same.
Yeah, the
But
CV
maybe-
Pro is cool. Like how they have that like dished out all the spokes.
Yeah. That's also
I
weird.
kind of didn't like the center cap, the like big nut. center
Yeah,
cap.
that's a bit weird for
It's
sure.
not-
And then that's a really weird wheel because it uses like an extremely small lug nut. It uses a special lug nut and it comes with a fucking spacer, like a really weird. You have to have that. It's like an adapter or something almost.
It's a
really
5100 to 5114 adapter that they come with.
yeah, because they like maybe screwed them up when they made them, and they are all 5100.
They were offered from factory like that, yeah, with that adapter.
That's so weird.
But
And
the-
it's like a GTR wheel.
yeah, but I feel like there's two versions of the CV Pros,
Yeah,
and to get the good version, the 3-piece version, is extremely hard.
yeah.
And most common is that 2-piece version. And I feel like maybe that's what tainted the image of that wheel. Is most people have that 2-piece version and they're like, oh, I can't do anything with this wheel.
It's 2-piece. What, welded or something?
It's like 1-piece barrel and then just the face is bolted in.
Oh, weird. I thought the ones we had were 3-piece, but I mean, this was literally like in 2005 or something. So
And that could have been the case, but that's the very rare ones that are actually
yeah,
like the full-
yeah. I mean, they're like fully on
If
a
it's
GTR.
a one piece barrel with a face bolted in, can you just bolt
Turn that into a 3-piece.
make it a 3-piece?
Then you would need a new inner and the new outer, so it just
Yeah,
doubles your
yeah.
cost of
Yeah.
you could, but
Sorry,
of
when
people-
I assume when you get wheels, you're just buying the faces.
Yeah, yeah. Literally, I've done that like twice.
well, you guys are a special.
Yeah, it's like
No,
$1,000 bucks
rare,
for 4
a
faces.
rare breed.
You're a rare breed, rare spec breed. So
Yeah.
One thing I want to
Special
say, super slept on wheels, Panasports, like C5C, like the G7,
Yeah.
the flat face C2 or whatever,
prices
a-
have gone crazy on those lately.
because they're actually fucking light and really nice wheels.
Yeah, people have been paying a lot of money for them.
Yeah,
I actually relipped a set just a few months ago.
for
Or
Satoshi.
actually, 2020. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
What's a real slept on wheel then right now? What's a wheel that you could pick up for cheap that's dope?
does that exist?
Like nothing.
I've been only looking at 4-lug or 6-lug stuff recently. So which type of application are you asking for?
Neither.
You honestly feel there's no wheels out there right now that are, this is a question for everyone, that are like being kind of overlooked that have potential?
It's a subjective thing, though, man. Like wheels are
Yeah, that's why I'm asking people who have taste, though, you know? Like
Clearly
food is a
not you.
subjective thing. Yeah, not me. I'm not asking me to be like, oh, what is it? I'm asking Rare Spec, like, because I know Aleks scours the internet and looks for things. Is there a theme that you're finding? Is there a wheel that I could get for cheap that would have potential later on?
I mean, it depends on what kind of wheel you're looking for, but like I always thought these were kind of cool. The ABC exclusive, or like I think they're also called the Balkan or some shit like that.
You can find
Alex.
the ABCs for fairly cheap, but I think a lot of people are turned off by them because usually they only came in chrome and they're pitted to shit
Huh?
and they just look extremely awful.
So another trend that I've noticed, I know you don't do this, but you could probably have some insight into it, is because your friend does it. You have friends that also build wheels in different communities. The stock wheels being turned into 3-piece wheels.
Yeah, that shit's
definitely
dope.
Catching on for sure.
I think it's awesome.
Is that a thing that you've done yet?
No, I've done a few conversions where I've taken like a 2-piece welded wheel and turned them into a 3-piece wheel. But no, I haven't done the OEM conversion yet, and it's probably not something I want to do. Yeah, you have to machine the face out perfectly. Everything has to round, straight, and It involves a lot of measuring, drilling, machining, boring out. So it's definitely not an easy thing to do. Not something somebody should be doing in their backyard or whatever. So
So I should stop cutting up stock wheels in my condo.
yeah, definitely stop doing that.
Probably not a good idea.
I've already cut into them. What do you think of someone looking at something like that? What type of budget should they expect?
For an OEM wheel?
Yeah.
Life
I would probably
savings.
I feel like, expect to pay, are we talking Canadian dollars or US dollars?
I don't know. They get mad at me
US.
every time. Yeah, there.
So US dollars? Oh, probably like $1,600 in just materials alone for, all your lips and barrels, right? And then the cost of the original OEM wheel, whatever. I'm sure you can find them free if somebody's,
And
giving
yeah,
them
depending
away.
on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the rest would be kind of like the machining, welding that's involved, the face refinish. So I'd probably say, close
The
to
reassembly labor.
$2,500 to $3,000
Hardware.
would be on the kind of the cheaper end.
Ow.
Yeah.
Shit. Well, that's pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, how much does it cost to build a set of 3-piece wheels? Period. Like the veil
Yes,
sides were definitely
that's
not
nice.
cheap.
That's an excellent question. What would the average price be? So I guess you just said 1,600 for the lips, US
Just just for the parts alone.
at the minimum.
Yeah. And then
Hardware.
machining, all the the labor involved, so the face refinishing, because you definitely want the faces refinished. So it could go up from $2,500 to $35 easy. And then that, Ray, you're kind of looking at new wheel price. So you could buy something brand new, made to your spec.
Do you know it's GS 204s?
Well, like those, yeah.
So that's a sales pitch to not go to Aleks to have him rebuild wheels.
Oh, I can get you brand new wheels too. So I just
Yeah, you can. All right. What is your favorite wheel?
My favorite wheel?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. I really like ugly wheels.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, like I like 3-spoke
man.
shit, like very obscure stuff. But I think the one time, like one favorite wheel that I've, I kind of regret selling would be the work emits.
That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Like the original work emits that I had on my IS300.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are cool. Those are cool.
Yeah.
Heavy as hell. They kind of remind me of like old
Lowrider.
Century wheels. Yeah, like they're like super spokey and very VIP looking. So
I think most listeners know what emits look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of our other listeners that rebuild wheels might call them Emmets, but
I call them emits as well.
Yeah.
But maybe it emits
might-
it emits style, right?
Dude,
So that's
dude, I always wanted those. I always wanted them. Or like carving heads.
carbine
Yeah.
head 40s. Yeah.
Yeah.
like the three
Twisted.
I honestly think they're even better in my
I don't
opinion.
know. I don't like the twist, and I think the spokes are too
Really?
close together. Yeah.
Oh man, it's
And-
so sick.
And they don't have the same profile because the emits come out like concave, and then the tips stick
Mhm.
out, and the carvings are a bit prego, and then they dive.
Yeah,
back
but doesn't like the each of those spokes kind of come to a point that kind of comes out a bit.
Yeah, that's
I
the
kind of think
pregnant
that's
part.
I guess it's a bit pregnant, but like it's I don't know. I kind of thought that was some cool.
Yeah, I just Googled those wheels, and there's no doubt in my mind that Kevin likes those wheels.
Mhm.
That's like
How about
Kevin wheel?
Yeah, fully.
I got a wheel that was in GT3 that you guys should know if you play GT3. I know all of you guys did. Is the OZ Opera.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nope.
No,
No,
you
I-
don't know the OZ Opera? Okay.
I
Okay,
was-
so how about this question? So like, you know how people are like, oh, this looks like that, or that looks like this. And you know how people are like, oh, that's a copy of this. And it's like, man, what's a copy of what? You know, like who came first? Exactly like kind of what I said is like the OZ Futura, the original of the 5-spoke.
Mhm.
Like is the Koenig a copy of the Futura, or like, you know, is the Vienna Courage a copy of a VSKF?
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? Like,
See, I don't have an issue with that.
yeah, I don't either.
I take issue when that exists, and then another company tries to make the same wheel and like almost makes it seem like that wheel entirely,
Mhm.
only changing it by 15%, but then they make it super shittily and then try to sell it to make it look like that wheel.
Are you
That's the
talking
problem
about
I have.
reps? Is that what?
Like
Yeah, like I'm talking
ESR?
about reps. Yeah, like ESR or like those other shit brands. Yeah, like
Yeah, it's like
Volkswagen.
you could just design your own wheel instead of just trying to rip off like and I hate those one-piece wheels that are trying to look like three-piece wheels. I kind of just really hate that. Like if it's a one-piece wheel, leave it as a one-piece wheel. Don't give me all this fake shit. But then at the same time, the works are a two-piece welded, and my Genoses have a bunch of fake bolts on them. So really, is that so much fucking different?
Yeah.
Well, it's work, so they get a pass. Hey,
Yeah,
here's a
they've been
fun
around
question.
since the 70s. So,
Here's a fun question for Alex that'll be very hard to answer.
oh boy.
What is your favorite cheap brand of wheels?
That's a good
cheap
question.
brand?
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
rep
gosh.
brand, or like, you know, like if someone's like, I got $1,000 to spend. Yeah, budget wheel. What's your favorite thrift store? Bottom of the barrel.
Value Village wheels.
Like that when we're at a meet, like I know, because like you and I go to a lot of car things, and I know like you're not into it when you see it, but what's your favorite of the worst?
I was gonna say Enkies, but then I mean like some
Yankees
are
ain't cheap, man.
Well, some
Oh,
are
what you
cheap.
trying to say, bro?
I That's a tough question.
Yeah, well, think about it. I need an answer.
I feel like I would be throwing somebody under the bus if
Who?
That's fine.
Who are you throwing under the bus?
Somebody.
Oh, somebody.
Is it Kevin and his CR lies?
No.
Because he loves it. Kevin
Okay,
loves.
I don't love it, but
I need a real
No,
answer.
I think like the wheels that would get a pass that are on the budget would be like a Motegi or a TSW for me.
Oh,
Woo.
yo, thanks, bro. TSW. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Gerard's making
2 cents.
TSW a thing.
So why TSW and like why Motegi? How the fuck do you come
They're
up with
huge in racing. Like they're massive. Yeah, Motegi's still around. Like they make a racing wheel.
Okay, you know
And-
Rhoda makes a lot of stock wheels, right? Like a lot of cars on the road have wheels made by fucking Rhoda.
And that's kind of ironic because those people are probably converting Rhoda OEM
To
wheels
Rhoda,
into
do you remember Schmidt wheels? Power
Yeah,
with
they
the
had
wheel,
stainless
like-
steel lips.
Yeah,
And they were like insanely strong. It was like fucked up. They're pretty expensive. I think they were almost like $800 or $900
yeah,
each,
they
or
were
15.
Yeah, they were not cheap. But
And
I
then-
always wanted those wheels.
Yeah, they're
Well,
sick.
somebody makes a rep of that wheel and they apparently crack and break all the time. So
Who
Sick.
makes the rep? Tell us.
I think, is it Avid One or what's that brand name?
I don't know, man. You know better than I do. You're the rare spec wheel guy.
Well, he doesn't
Yeah.
bother with peon spec. He's the same as you.
Bother with peon spec.
He's the
Yo.
same as you, Gerard, and peons in their cars. You know, the peasants. He doesn't care about peasant spec. I just want to stop. Has Alex answered you? So Motegi was your answer? I just
I
wanted
would
to
say
make sure.
TSW and Motegi would be
Okay,
my
good. I wanted to make sure that I
my
nailed it.
So how
Economy-
come TSW then?
because they have a rich history in racing, and I feel like they make a decent wheel. They know what they're doing.
It's because I used to have TSWs on my car, and he knew that.
No, it's because he doesn't want to offend me. I have 2 sets of TSW. Just kidding.
Everyone's just at the altar of Gerard.
I'm just kidding.
All hail the king.
I don't know that I've ever had a TSW.
That's not surprising though either.
You probably don't know.
Yeah.
I borrowed Matt's TSWs, and they were the heaviest wheel ever. But
That's why they never break, bro. That's why TSW doesn't have a bad name, because they never break, because they're made of like they're overbuilt by like safety factor 8.
I had a set of TSWs that were apparently bent though that couldn't be repaired.
I mean,
Which
you
is
could bend
very-
them because
which
they're
was
probably
very
made of like
upsetting.
pretty shitty aluminum, but
But then I wasn't sure if they just told me that and then they took my wheels and fixed them and sold them to someone else. Because then I like saw wheels that were very similar to them on another car, and I was like,
damn, that's probably what
Wait,
happened.
Hold on. You
Yeah.
went to a shop and they told you you have bent wheels and you left them there?
yeah.
What?
Fuck, I was like 18 or 17 at the time. I legit bought those wheels off of eBay, and not even through eBay. I like used Western Union to send the guy the money. It was like a weird fucking time.
But you just left them there. Like you paid money for them and you just left them there?
No, I drove around on these wheels for for 2 years ish or
And
a
they were
year.
fucked up.
No, they seemed fine. And then I was like, okay, I want to get them refinished because they were all like scratched.
You
Not
just
from
believe
me.
the guy?
Man,
but
you got hosed.
These are
Yeah.
totally fucked, man. You
Wow.
can't
Yeah,
say
you
these.
man, you just got fucked.
I
I
think you
don't
got
care.
played
Well,
then.
Probably, but they were a reputable shop. And then I was like, I don't know what to do. And then my brother sold me his TSWE Molas, and then I ran those instead. They were like powder coated white.
All right,
Okay,
so
first wheel, or like first,
That was my first wheel. Was a TSW.
there you go. All right, now everybody else.
like first wheel that you bought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say.
Say it.
Say it.
You gotta say.
You gotta say it.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a TSW Nardo.
I don't even know what those look like.
Yeah, I don't really either, but
What did you put them on?
On the IS 300.
I mean, they're like 6 spokes.
Oh yeah, it's not even a bad wheel.
Yeah, but it's
It
a
was-
TSW. I thought you were going to give me shit for that.
Whatever,
So
man.
my
But
first
I mean,
one was
it's
a
like, it's like
TSW.
your first wheel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you when you did that? 32.
The Bardo
No,
or the
Nardo.
No, but
Bardo Nardo.
No, because I searched for Nardo,
I know,
but
there
there's
is
a Bardo, which
I was
is
just
way,
saying they have the
way
weirdest names.
cooler.
What?
The Nardo kind of sucks.
Fuck.
No, the Nardo looks like it should be like a truck wheel or some shit. Like,
Yeah, a little.
The Bardo and the Nardo look exactly fucking
They're
same.
pretty, yeah, I mean,
what are you talking
Oh,
about?
wait a minute.
oh no, the Bardo. I keep
Oh,
getting
the
Oh, yeah.
Nardo is that spokey thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I didn't want to say it.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's you got
you
that
got
taste.
the pregnant
You
face.
should have just
fake
said
lip.
Nardo, and if anyone ever called you on it, you'd be like, "Oh, you must have misheard." No, I totally said Bardo.
Yeah. Well, too late now.
Bardo, Nardo.
So to clarify, my first ones were TSW Revos.
Oh, Revos. I don't even those. So you want to know something funny? So I was looking for wheels for my truck, whatever, and it's like, okay, you're looking for truck wheels today, and it's like what is it? Fuel, Black Rhino, all these fucking weird ass brands, and you're just like, is any of this stuff actually good? And then I found out that Black Rhino is actually TSW. And then for some reason that gave it relevance. I was like, okay, they're not the worst. Because at least they know what they're doing. They've been around for a while and they're probably not gonna, break or be shitty. So yeah, I mean, thought that was like kind of better than Fuel or I don't know.
Were you worried that?
MHT or like
I mean, they got better designs than Fuel. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Metal
Were-
Militia. or
Were you
whatever.
worried that the people at the fuel factory were just shotgunning Monster energy drinks all day and designing wheels? Like,
Pretty much
not
what they were
worried
doing.
about the safety spec. Like, you got to roll your family.
No, it's just like
And they're just
yeah.
like Monster.
It's more about how terrible the designs are.
Yeah, the designs are all pretty shit. And then at least Black Rhino had like 3 that were like normal-ish looking. One looked like a rally car wheel, mine looked like a stock wheel, and then I think the other one looked like like a spokey car wheel. But every other design is like, yeah, they got those ones that look like tank wheels and shit like that. Like,
I think those tank wheel ones are kind of sick, but I got like a tank truck.
yeah, for your truck, wouldn't be the worst.
All right, hang on. So we got I did TSW Revos. Alex has
Yeah.
TSW Nardos, which is not the
My
Bardo.
first wheels out on my Civic, I had SSR Type X's.
Oh,
Yeah, those are
That's
sick ass
money.
wheels. Hey, back then, man, yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, it was weird. I found them in Richmond, and that's like a super rare wheel. Like now, that wheel would be worth like good money, man. They were 15 by 6.5 because remember everything. Well, I guess maybe you don't, but back then, everyone was running the skinnier like 6.5 because you could still put a 205 and a 6.5, but they just wanted the lightest wheels possible for N1 racing, and so it was 15 by 6.5, like 40 or whatever, and they were white, and I had them on my silver EK. And I was like, I thought they were the sickest wheels ever.
Where I was from, when you were buying wheels, nobody even like considered sizing. It didn't cross anyone's mind. It was like 4x100, and then it was just like, what size are they? 17, 16s, or 18s?
Yeah.
just diameter. Yeah.
It was never like, what's the width? And you'd never be like, oh, the width and the offset is. It was like, when I got into an S chassis, then that mattered.
I don't know if this counts, but like I think the first set of wheels I got were like a set of 15-inch Rikens.
Yo, I had
Ooh.
Riken meshies.
Yeah, the black meshies, exactly.
Dude, Rikens were aren't Riken? Isn't Riken like?
It's made in Japan.
Yeah, it's a Japanese wheel company.
All right, well then there you go. That was,
Yeah.
But you
They
got
did
the
a lot of
coolest.
OEM wheels
yeah, that was like I think it was an OEM wheel off something else. Like
Oh, crazy.
because they did
It was
wheels
a
for,
junkyard
the
wheel.
Pontiac GT,
yeah.
Yeah.
whatever that Firebird is.
Yeah, no, mine were like on my Corolla, but so there
And
were
then they had the
four
Fiero
lug or
GT
whatever.
wheels, the meshies.
I mean, maybe that's what it was.
I
but
had
yeah.
a set of the. I had a couple of sets of the Meshy Riken ones.
I think the first wheels like I ordered from Japan, like I said, I had those. I had some Advans and I had some Goodyears, but those were all like wheels that I bought here. But I think the first wheels that I ordered from Japan were those Longchamps. But before that, I had ordered brand new Equipo ones from
Yeah.
work, and I tried to order brand new Equipo twos, but they had discontinued them. Like I'm ordering in February, and they like stopped making them or whatever.
It's funny
in-
because that's like
in
literally
December.
the exact opposite of the other wheels. So one has the spoke and one has the
Yeah,
gap.
That's the
yeah.
negative spoke. Yeah, that's like.
Yeah,
Right.
that's dope.
Then
Go ahead.
Ryan, going back to your earlier question, like I don't know why this just popped into my head, but when you were asking about the wheel that's kind of underrated, that everyone's sleeping on, for me, it would be the Stern Phase 2 wheel.
Hell yeah, Phase 2 Beast.
Yeah. So
Dude.
that would be one of the wheels that I just like popped into my head.
I had those. I had a pair. And
Yeah.
they're super light, man, and they're incredibly strong. Those lips, everything's forged on that wheel. Like it's fucked up, man. They're so light.
This is a question for everyone. Favorite set of wheels you've ever owned?
That's a hard one. Actually, no, that's not that hard. You guys go first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that kind of almost is a hard one.
I'll probably say it's the wheels that I have that they're everyone's favorites that I own. And everyone's like, "Oh, you still have those?" It's the Sparco NS06 Cheetah, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go last.
Well, I mean, you guys couldn't say anything, so I was like,
honestly,
Kevin
like
was gearing up.
No, I was trying to think. I feel like I've had a lot of wheels.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
to all the girls you've loved, you know?
I'm gonna say some super weird ass. I have these Panasports. These 15x10 -38 Panasports that are super light.
and they're different. Don't you have two super lights, or you only have a pair of them?
No, I have 3 or I have 4. Okay, yeah, one is different.
Okay,
then so like that pair is like an unmatched pair that's the same size. That's a super weird combo. But then I have the other pair, which is the true pair. I bought all 4 of them for super cheap off some like some super it was such a weird random buying them online, meeting up with the guy. I got stopped at the border, and then the woman at the border was like, "What are you bringing back?" And I'm like, "Oh, I bought these rims." And then she was like, "How much do you pay?" I'm like,
did you buy wheels or did you buy rims?
Yeah, that was what it was, where I had to pay, so like those ones have a hilarious story, and I got them for so cheap, and they're like such a sick size, and like then I polished them from like absolutely completely beat up to like a pretty nice finish myself. So those are definitely my favorite.
Alex, what are your favorite wheels that you've ever owned?
Well, it would be the mitts, like we mentioned earlier.
Oh, there you go. Boom.
Good.
How are you, Ryan?
Well, now
TSW Bardo.
Yeah. No, I didn't have the Bardos. I had the Evos, and now I'm feeling sentimental that I just left them at this shop because I thought they were toast.
You should call them.
So my TSW.
You should call them back.
Anyway,
okay.
I look. The funny thing about me is I really love one-piece wheels, and
yeah.
So
I wanted to talk about.
Funny this whole episode.
Time.
Yeah, this whole episode we haven't even mentioned any one-piece wheels.
Yeah, I love one-piece wheels.
Ones.
Yeah, because he can't fuck with them.
Okay, let's talk
my
about
CR Kais are probably my favorite, but I've had like AME Shallons and
Shallons are good.
Yeah, they were on my Celsior and they were fine, but I just like the sporting look, I suppose. So
The
I like
sporting look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
I actually
Or these
almost
wheels that Alex just built for the Forerunner. Maybe that should be my answer. What are they, Alex? Ragunas? D-Force?
Yeah, Raguna's D-Force. Yeah.
e-bag.
That's me. Yeah, okay. One Piece wheels. What are your thoughts on One Piece wheels? Let's go through that. What are our thoughts?
Pros and cons. One piece wheel. Go, Kevin.
Pros.
Well-
Maybe they could be light, but maybe they could look light but not be light.
You look sick.
Yeah, pros. Sometimes they can look super sick, like that BBS RS or whatever, that super spindly wheel that looks amazing. Cons, when you break them, they're broke.
Yeah.
Cons, they don't really look that sick.
No, that's subjective.
Cons, you're not gonna get a bunch of lip.
Yeah.
That's accurate. Yeah. Unless you're Cosmos and then you're trying to make a lip on the
Or
Yeah.
ESR.
They're trying to make that 3-piece, 1-piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
75 mil lip. Hey, you remember when Sport Max? Is it Sport Max? Or
Yeah,
Sport Max
that
had
like 9.75 inch wide wheel.
yeah, and then they had
It
the
had
lips.
that tiny bit more lip.
But they had the lip and it had the stainless insert because actually like was sort of like
Yeah,
an interesting aspect. You know what I mean? So it was
that
actually
true.
shiny.
I remember Ian went wheel to wheel, and that stainless lip insert like flew out of the wheel.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's hilarious.
But yeah, that was a cool feature of those wheels.
The lip would fly out. That's
Because it was yeah, I mean I like one piece wheels. I think they definitely like completely changed the look of the car. Like they make the car look lighter, they make the car look sportier. Yeah, they make it just looks, somewhat like kind of sleeker because like anything with lip, in my opinion, it always kind of just looks like a little bit heavy and a bit like, especially like the bigger the lip. I mean, yeah, it's weird. I build all these crazy super deep lip wheels, and then I look at them and I'm like, I fucking swear it looked better on the Yankees. You know what I mean? And then I get some one piece wheels and I'm like, fuck, I really missed my lip. And it's like,
Yeah,
you can never win, man. But yeah, I mean, as far as drifting, 3-piece, I mean, unless you're baller AF, like to just
Like
replace.
Gerard.
No, that's the thing. You can't, man. Like those Yankees were so expensive, and if I would have cracked one, I had to like bring one in from Japan and like machine the face. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Or like
and run a 2-inch spacer the whole time you have the wheel on. because
Exactly,
you can only
yeah.
get it in a certain size.
Yeah, the biggest wheel it came in was 18 by 11, and at the time I was running 12s, so I had to like downsize and then run a 2.5 and a 3-inch spacer. But yeah, I mean they're cool, but I also never like transporting my one piece wheels because the face is the face, and when you transport them, like there's always if you have more than two, there's always going to be some faces to faces or faces to something, and then the whole face gets fucked up instead of just the rim lip, right?
Not if you have XD9s.
Yeah, but then you still, it's like a painted lip or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
always going to get destroyed. Yeah, so that's my take on
That
things.
was one other thing I was thinking about one piece wheels a bit earlier while we were talking about it. It's like I feel like you don't see them. They're not around anymore. Like
One Piece.
there's like XD9s and like that's like they're not really around. I feel like they're like they got smashed up and they hit a pothole or they got in an accident or hit the wall and like that set of wheels is gone. Like
Yeah, I mean those
whereas,
wheels
like,
are extremely rare.
well, or any of those wheels, like
But you can just buy them brand new still.
No,
XD9s.
you can't. You cannot.
XD9s still exist.
No,
When did they
fuck
cancel
no.
XD9s?
XT7s maybe.
When did they get rid of XD9s?
Like fucking 6
5
years
years ago. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I
Yeah, it's
didn't
been
know
a
this.
while since we bought you wheels, Bella.
Yeah, it has actually. It hasn't been. This is the
Yeah.
worst news, you guys. I feel like I'm at a funeral now. What the fuck?
Well, for me, one piece wheels, I think the pro is maintenance. They're like super easy to maintain and wash. Like the easiest thing you can wash is a one piece wheel compared to a 3-piece.
Yeah, for sure, man. Those bolts are a pain in the dick.
Right, like the bolts, the lips. You gotta get the water
gap.
off the lips ASAP so they don't water stain the polish. So yeah, like so much more maintenance goes into a 3-piece wheel than a 1-piece.
If you actually maintain them.
Well, true. And then I guess they're light. But like Kevin said, like they're disappearing because a lot of people can't get the sizes they want to run in their car. Otherwise, they're super expensive.
Or if you're like Kevin, you
Hold on,
find
you guys.
Huh?
The Emotion D9R replaced the.
That's also discontinued.
What? I'm on their site. What the fuck?
What do you want? Work Wheels USA?
Maybe. Is that not up to date? Where do I
No.
go?
Work-wheels.co.jp.
Bullshit I've ever heard.
Like people are like, oh, like don't run reps, don't run fake wheels because they're shitty, because they break. Like I've had friends that hit potholes and they blow into like 8,000 pieces. Have you ever seen that?
I don't really have many people that come to me with that kind of stuff. Like I don't want to.
You have friends. Not all your friends run.
No, you can't be friends with Aleks and run shit wheels. I think. I think
Maybe-
I'm
or
the
maybe
closest he
if you
gets
do and
to
it
that.
blows up, you're not going to go run into Aleks. to
No,
tell
but
him,
I mean, like you have friends who just don't happen to want to spend $3,000 fucking dollars on wheels. So they're like buying $1,000 wheels.
I don't have many friends like that, to be honest.
But yeah, okay. So in your opinion, a work, let's call it Emotion, versus the CR Lie. So a CR Kai versus CR Lie. Is it worth double or maybe even more the price?
Yes. I feel like looking at it up close, like it'd probably be harder to tell in pictures if you're far away. But looking at it up close, holding the wheel, you can tell the difference in quality, and I think it's worth the price.
Do you have experience with either brands or both, like comparatively?
We need to do this.
I hear the quiver in your voice, Gerard. Doesn't sound like you believe.
I don't believe. No, okay. We need to do what?
We need to bring Benoit's car and Kevin's car, and then we'll compare.
But we have. See, the good thing is we have experience with those wheels in like a really like pretty harsh environment and harsh setting, if you will.
And they both held up.
I mean, I can't speak for CR Kais, but I can speak for CR Lies. And I can definitely speak for Enkis, and I can definitely speak for my Sparkos. Yeah, so we drove to California and back in a Crown on CR Lies with 21540s at 8 degrees of camber, all the way to Cali, drive around Cali, 3 people in the car. So that's like 38 to 4,000 pounds on 18 by 9.5, 18 by 10.5. And I mean, even us in the beginning, we're like, yo, these wheels are going to get broken. Like these wheels we're probably going to be stranded for sure. But hey, it's the wheels we had. They looked good on the car. We just put work stickers on them. It's all good. And then
just to fully call out the person, this was Eric's car, wasn't it?
Hey man,
He told me this story. He told me this story and how much shame he felt for doing such a thing.
I felt no shame, man. I mean, it is what it is. A wheel fucking circle goes around, drives the car down the road. Anyways, so yeah, we drove all the way down to Cali.
I want to put that like as a sticker, like the LB sticker on my car. The wheel circle goes around, drives the car down the road.
But yeah, we didn't have a single problem. They weren't bent. They weren't fucking cracked. They weren't anything. And I mean, Kevin's had those wheels on his drift car for I don't know how long, man. And you've seen Kevin drive. He's broken every fucking Enki he has owned, and the CR Lies are still in one piece.
Yeah, like the Sawbacks are all good, but yeah, like the NT03s have had a rough life. And
they're
yeah,
cracked in 3 places on each wheel.
I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration, and I might try and sell them later. So fuck you. But
should I just cut that out?
Yeah, probably cut that out.
I'm on the work Japanese site, and they say they still have D9Rs.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're right. The D9Rs
lives on.
The other reason I want to say like no is because those wheels weigh exactly the same. They're both 23 pounds for a 9.5, whatever, 18 for a CR Lie and a CR Kai. And then also Kevin bought MCOs. MCO was supposed to be the flagship one-piece wheel when it came out. Do you remember that wheel?
Yeah, the Motor Concept 1.
Was
Remember that wheel,
work?
Alex? work
Yeah. Mm.
MCO
They
racing
had it.
wheel.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had it on the FRS like racing
Yeah.
series in
Yeah.
Japan. That was like the wheel they had to run. And
Heaviest fucking wheel ever.
one wheel that I always thought was cool was the P1s. They
Yo,
were like those super thin 5
yeah,
spokes,
man.
like
Buddy Club P1s.
super diving in like center, kind of like
Yeah.
the Sparko.
Buddy Club P1s are
Yeah,
tight.
man.
All right,
those
hang
are
on now.
sick.
You guys, I think we need to give Aleks a chance to defend
Okay. All right.
properly branded wheels, because we've made quite a case for why you should just fuck off and buy like ref wheels. It's like,
But before we do that, how much were those MCOs landed?
I don't even remember, man. But like, yeah, I don't know, like slightly cheaper than what I probably got Aleks to build me the like Selbex for. Like,
But they
They
were
were
like
not
almost
cheap.
like $2,500 or something landed for 4 one-piece works MCO flagship one-piece wheels. And then what happened? What happened to those wheels?
they both like exploded into like 17 pieces
What?
when a semi truck drove into me,
Oh no.
like sideswiped me basically, and like the lip broke off in between each spoke, broke off like individually almost. So it just became like
I'm hearing that
A
the
million.
wheel absorbed all of the impact and saved your life.
I'm
So
saying I'm not saying
That's
that it hit a
true, yeah.
pothole. I'm not saying
No,
it hit a
right.
pothole and exploded.
you were hit by a semi truck, and work wheel saved your life. Perfect.
That's my argument. Like they're 3 times the money and not really 3 times the quality. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
All
Right.
right.
So you're basing that just on that one trip to California that you did?
Well, and the drifting that Kevin does with his current car.
Mm. Okay, that's a fair argument.
I don't want to hear that. I want to hear.
I feel like it's based on like the entirety of like running wheels throughout the history of.
Yeah,
Or
like we
wheels.
definitely have run like a fucking lot of wheels.
All right, then here's my question though. Well, Aleks thinks of a rebuttal. If the lesser wheel brands are so good, why don't you run them more often, Gerard?
You talking to me?
yeah, I said Gerard.
Uh,
Yeah, why do you run a brand name wheel? We've created an argument for why you shouldn't. And this has often been a theme where you're like, a wheel is round, it goes around and around, and it makes the car drive.
it's all relative.
Why? Yeah, and that's totally okay.
Okay, look at my
Why
other car
do
has TSWs on it. Both 2 of my cars have TSWs on.
Yeah, but your pride and like not your pride and joy, your mainstay car, like we'll say the Aristo had name brand wheels on it.
Yeah, the
Okay,
small
yeah,
wheel's
you
gonna have name
can't
brand wheels.
you can't flex
The
with
Blitz has name brand wheels.
yeah, you can't flex with cheap wheels.
So it's just about the flex.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to build something cool, you can't really build it cool with not cool wheels.
Like that's like the whole point of building something
Yeah.
cool is flexing.
exactly.
Ah, right. So why can't you then? Because you've made an argument to me that says like someone
Well,
has
because-
created.
That's the thing, because they are replicas. Like if they were okay, for example, Cosmos's parent company, I think it's called like PP Wheels. They have lots and lots of different styles.
Pee pee poo poo wheels.
I know it's really a weird name from Thailand, whatever. They have a lot of really different styles, especially even for trucks. Like Aleks, you should check some of them out. They're pretty crazy. So they have, because in
He's
Thailand,
not going to do that.
No, I'm good. I'll stick to Raguna.
anyways, they have so like 18 by 10 0 6-bolt, like weird shit like that. Like that's but like their own design. And I'm like, those are pretty cool. But like, yeah, once you start blatantly copying like a reputable wheel, then it loses that coolness. You know what I mean? You can never be that cool because you're trying to be someone else. Maybe if you just designed your own cool fucking wheel, you'd be fine.
So what you're saying is Eric's Crown driving to California was not cool,
No, it was totally cool because it looked cool.
but it had fake replica wheels.
I mean, yeah, ultimately it wasn't as cool, but like it was cool enough.
Like if the same car was sitting beside it that had like the same stance and the same tire, the same everything, but it had the actual wheel, that car would be cooler.
But who
I mean,
would
to
know?
me,
'Cause
it'd be
you
like
guys put the sticker on it.
To me, it'd be like fucking 15% cooler. You know what I mean? Like that's like saying like, no offense, Ryan, like I like CR Kais for sure, but like if it had equips on it, it'd be 50% cooler. But
Yeah,
if it had CR Kais versus CR Lies, that's only like a fucking 5 to 10% increase in my
Sure.
books. Right?
Yeah, you and I aren't writing in the same book all the time, so it's okay. I'm okay with that. I probably fall more into the Aleks camp with this, and I fully think it's important to buy real wheels. Now, is that just because I think they're cooler? I don't know if that's why. I think it's important to put money in the pocket of the people that are doing the actual R&D and like building.
I agree with you too. I've never personally bought the wheels, but like I guess I don't hate on it as much as maybe some people do. That's
right.
I don't buy them.
How choked would you be if I went out and was like, oh man, there's this company that makes the exact same part as SerialNine, but like they've clearly ripped you off, and I'm just gonna go ahead and buy that part and put it on my car.
It's called
yeah. So me and are starting a separate podcast. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, no, I want to put my money where the people that are doing the work is. So that's my argument for it. It's like,
yeah, I mean,
brand.
I agree. Okay, so how about this then? Are you familiar with Aleks would know? So like CST, like Hyper 01, basically MB battles. What do you think of those?
I haven't had any personal experience with them, but
do you think they're cool or not cool?
I think from the photos I've seen of them and the sizing they come in, I think they're all right.
Is it because they originally are from Japan?
I feel like they're like a very, probably like, because they look like a very like 90s, early 2000s wheel.
But they're fully a Chinese wheel.
But I would never run them.
But I feel like they get a bit of a pass because they're their own design. Like they came up like CST Hyper 01. That was their thing. They came out with this wheel. It was like sort of like GTR-esque, but not really. And like it got popular. Yeah, like you said, like 2000s, it got popular. It was pretty cool. And then somehow became MB battles. But still, that was sort of like a middle ground. Like battles were acceptable.
I swear like MB battle and Blitz 03 were at the same level.
Yeah, I mean, at one point they probably were.
Like I feel like they were advertised side by side at the same price in Doritan. Like,
oh, probably, man.
Well,
no, I mean, I think CSTs were always like hella cheap. Like they were probably like.
But I mean, I don't think Blitz wheels like were super expensive, were they?
No, I mean they're still like a 2 or 3 piece wheel, so I assume that they were generally more expensive.
Generally, yeah.
There was a point though on the market where they were pretty low and like easy to like.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure, but I think like when Mitch ran them on his Skyline, I don't think they were like super expensive. Yeah, battles definitely got a pass, and I think that's a weird go. I don't know why they did, but
because they have 2 other wheels out. There was like the X, and then they have a CST Hyper version 2, which is actually like really fucking sick, and it just came out like I don't know 6 months or a year ago or something. And they're really cool. But yeah, that is, I'm 99% sure, a fully Chinese company, or it's probably a Japanese company getting wheels made in China, and has been doing so since like, 2000s. But yeah, somehow because they're associated with Japanese culture, they're okay. But like, like a Rhoda ESR, whatever, isn't, because it's associated with American shit culture.
I think at some point, someone that was like I think MB battles for S chassis came in like pretty decent sizes.
Yeah, but so did TSWs, man.
Yeah. But like because I do remember people being like, this is totally, when I was like looking at, I put XT9s on my S chassis, and people were like, well, there's these MBs and these come in like really good like one piece wheel sizes. And when you were looking for cheap wheels and one piece wheel sizes, not a lot of people maybe at that time were doing it. So probably much like the Blitz 03s, somebody really cool probably put them on their car and it made it okay for everyone else. Right? Like I think that is what actually happens, is all it takes is one person to come along and be like, I think these wheels are dope. And then it gives everyone else a pass to be like, those wheels are dope.
Yeah.
Probably how we got to where we are with the Blitz 03s.
But aren't the MB battles based on the Yokohama Model T7s?
Actually, yeah, I think you're.
That's what every time I see those, that's what I think of. And like, if I would have the
Yeah,
choice,
they are.
I would just pick the Model T7s over the MB battles any day.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think you're right but the T7s were discontinued like ages ago. So like that's probably maybe you're right. Like that's a thing. It's like
I think
for
you
example,
I mean, I feel that is a fairly common thing to just like be like, all right, here's a sick design that isn't made anymore,
Hmm.
or
And
they
that's
don't,
being done
or not
now.
made in this size.
Right. A lot of companies are doing that now.
Maybe the T7s were harder to find in decent sizes, and then MB came along and made them affordable in
that's actually true
good
because
sizes.
if you remember back then when T7s came out, that was that era of like, Supra sizing or like GTR sizing. So they might have come in a 9.5 or a 10.5, 12, but they were definitely very popular in like a 10.5, 45 or 9.5, 45 for like FD, Supra, Aristo, all those, like literally every other car besides GTRs. And I think even GTRs back then only had like a 24 offset with maybe like a 10-inch wheel. You know what I mean? It wasn't so crazy.
Yeah, that was that time where everyone was getting into imports and building stuff, but nobody really thought a ton about offset, and like running like flush fitment
Yeah.
wasn't a thing
thing.
yet.
Yeah.
Like really, it hadn't like become the forefront.
Well,
Hello
I have a
Flush
question.
hadn't shown up yet. So
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Mainly because Benoit gets irked every time I talk about this, but are TE37s overhyped or not?
I like them. You guys go first, and I'll say why I like them.
Kevin.
I appreciate them. That bronzy color that they come in though, like doesn't really do much for me. And then the fact that they're so expensive doesn't really do much for me. I've never owned them. I don't plan on owning them, but I respect them.
Gerard, how do you feel about T37s?
I think they're a great wheel. They're a legendary wheel. They're a super strong wheel. They're a super light wheel. Do I like them? A bit. Would I buy them? No.
What about if it was matte black with like a red stripe?
100%. And then the whole hype thing with TEs on trucks. I mean, I think it's cool. Definitely it's a flex. Am I spending $5,000 on truck wheels? No. I mean, no, sorry.
This all started because I wanted to get the T37Xs or whatever for the 4Runner.
Yeah.
And Eric and Alex were like super against it. But yeah, I think growing up and like reading magazines and having posters on your wall, and a lot of those like race car type things that they did photo shoots on had T37s on them.
Yeah.
They generally look good on pretty much everything that they're on. I think like they're just a good, like it's a timeless design. Nobody's ever going to be super mad that you have them. As a car guy going into like the kind of like Japanese truck culture, I guess that the TE37s was like the easiest line to draw. It was like, these are cool in this world. And then they make them in this world, so therefore they are cool in this world. So, Aleks, what are you finding with like truck wheels in Japan? Because you've ventured into that realm.
Yeah, I've only been looking at mostly 15s and 16s, like used old that's meant for like 80s and 90s trucks. Anything newer,
like for your truck, it's probably very difficult to find anything in a 17.
There is some 17s and 18s, but they're usually like a weird size. They'd be like a 17 by 9 plus 50, or like
exactly
like an 18 by 8.5 plus 45. So terrible sizing. So I ended up going with the 16 by 9 -5, which I still don't think is aggressive enough, but I think it'll be.
But keep in mind, Alex's 100 series has like what 50 millimeter flares.
Yeah, that too. So
like that's not a normal fitment for 100 series, right?
No. So yeah, but most of the guys here, yeah, they definitely want to run like 17s for their Tacomas or whatever.
Mhm.
But Eric and I just did a set of 16s for a Tacoma, which fit fine. So that's for like a newer Tacoma. There was, I think, 16x8+0, I believe, and they worked out well. So I think that kind of opens up a new way of thinking that if the wheel can clear your brakes, then you can run a smaller wheel and run a bigger tire.
What would someone expect to pay when building a truck wheel? Is there a big cost difference between that and building a car wheel?
Yes. If they want TEs, then yes. For some reason, the TE market for truck stuff is still up there, like $2,000 to $3,000 if you can find a decently sized set. For 3P stuff, generally I would say $1,000 and up gets you like a decent brand and a decent size. You can get something under $1,000 that would require a rebuild to something wider, which is totally doable now because especially in 16s and 17s, they mostly are step lips, so they would use the same parts a normal wheel would use for relipping, but everything would be obviously custom. And if you want to go like a one-piece, three-piece looking wheel, then under $1,000 is totally possible for like a 16x8.0.
Aleks, what do you think of TE37s?
Well, my personal experience is that every time a set is brought to me is because they're bent or cracked or missing a chunk. So it's never been like a positive experience where like, oh, hey, like these are perfect and like look at them. It's always been, actually, when I think about it now, it's a lot of wheels that come to me are usually in a shit.
Aleks, nobody's bringing nice wheels to you just to show you their wheel.
Rebuilt. Yeah.
But I wish.
Hey man, I don't need your help.
Rebuild my perfect wheels.
I don't need your help with these wheels, but don't you admire how nice they look? Like the whole
you know what? I wish
reason people come to you is to rebuild shit or fix shit.
I wish somebody did that once. Brought me.
Just showed up with like nice wheels and been like, I don't like. They made an appointment with you, like reached out, and then we're like, hey, let me come hang out, and you can just look at my wheels, but I don't need any help from you. That's what you want?
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay, well, I think that's our takeaway. If you have great looking wheels and want to meet Aleks from RareSpec, just go to Instagram, RareSpecWheels, and shoot him a message. So in the tail end of a pandemic, you can go meet up with Aleks and show him your wheels that don't require any work.
How important are wheels to your car?
Super
percentage-wise.
Most important.
Like fucking
50%.
huge.
50%.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say, I don't know.
Wheels and suspension are most people's equivalent of a build.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So it's probably one of the.
If you have a VIP car, how important are your wheels? Like
90%.
Yeah, exactly.
So and that's the first thing people see, right? The people will see you rolling down.
Yeah.
Or being at the meet. They don't like, unless you pop your hood, nobody knows about your engine build.
But I mean, I feel like if you got a drift car, wheels are like a small part of a large equation. But
even
like wheels and coils is not a drift car, but
No, I know, but it's still it is like Aleks said, it's the first part that you see. It's like wearing a suit with shitty shoes. It's like your suit can be as dope as you want, but if you walk in and you're wearing just like flip-flops, people are like, that's a dumb choice to try to impress people.
That's true.
So I do get the importance of it, and I think that maybe ties back to like the flex and why the flex is important.
Yeah.
Flex is important.
I agree.
All right. That's the lesson for today. Well, Aleks, thanks for hanging out with us and talking about wheels.
You're welcome.
Kevin,
thank you for being a friend.
Yeah, you traveled down a road and back again.
Yeah. Sweet dreams, baby.
Thanks for listening to Serial Podcast 9.